First up is Raiders of the Lost Ark. This movie has the best theme song of all time, and the whole movie is a fucking masterpiece.
But if you remove Indy from the plot...
If you finish that sentence, Joe, I'm never sharing my Baja Blast with you ever again.
Stupid balding orange cocksucker.
Thank you, Donald. There's nothing really else to debate or say about this movie that we didn't already cover in our George Lucas video. It's going into S tier.
100% Barack. What's next?
Up next is E.T. the Extra-Testicle.
Ah, yes. The only movie where an autistic raisin is the protagonist.
Dude, show some respect for E.T.
Joe, I was talking about the kid.
Well, that's fucked. But let's move on. I know this is going to be divisive to say, but I actually don't care for this movie.
Bro, how can you not like this movie? It's goated with the sauce.
Joe, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's just not my vibe. I personally enjoyed Super 8 a lot more, and after seeing Stranger Things 15 times, I can't go back to the original family-friendly version.
I get you. Plus, Stranger Things has that one darkie for you to root for.
You're a fucking racist asshole, Don, but you're not wrong. The only thing I loved about this movie is the Yoda cameo and the cat suit Elliot's mom wears. No cap, I'd stuff her turkey for Thanksgiving. As for the movie, my instinct is to give it C tier. But since it's well made, I'll be kind and give it a B tier.
Okay, Don, now that Barry the Hater is done spewing his bullshit, you want to help me veto his ass and put this movie into S tier?
Yes, I do, Joe. This movie captures the spirit of childhood perfectly, and it's a fun time for the whole family.
Not to mention, it has some of the best child acting I've ever seen. Both Henry Thomas and Drew Barrymore knocked it out of the park. It stood the test of time, unlike you, Obama. So it goes into S tier.
I agree, S tier.
Fucking ratioed by the whiteys again? Why am I not surprised? Now on to Temple of Doom. Okay, I know we put this into A tier in our George Lucas video, but that was on the George Lucas curve. When compared to the rest of Spielberg's filmography, I feel like this movie really should top out at B tier. Willie Scott is really annoying at times, and the movie never really settles on the tone it wants.
Valid take, Barry. It starts as a fun adventure movie, then it turns into comedy with the monkey dinner, and then it goes full horror mode with the sacrifice scene. But the last 20 minutes of the movie have some of the best action in cinema history.
There was a time where I hated this movie, but it's really grown on me. The practical effects still hold up. Its art design and costumes are on fleek, and the action really helps you forget about Willie Scott and the racist caricatures. I think it should go to the top of B tier.
I can settle with the top of B tier.
Into the top of B tier it goes then. Now for the color purple.
Ah, yes, this movie gave such amazing representation to the African-American community.
Yes, it did, Donald. And in the midst of all the white-led movies in the 80s, it was really a great breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Too bad it's all about how black men are abusive and how they like to fuck their underage daughters.
Can't lie, I just remember it for the lesbian kiss between Whoopi Goldberg and Margaret Avery.
I hate both of you so much.
All jokes aside, this is actually a pretty good movie. It has great performances from everyone in the cast, and it's effectively heartbreaking.
Facts. I had to take a second Prozac to get through this movie. It may not be as dark as Schindler's List, but it's equally depressing in my opinion.
Well, welcome to the world of black people.
Again, with the race-baiting Obama, keep your heart on for George Floyd out of this.
Yo, I didn't even... You know what? No. Just give me your rating.
It's a powerful movie, but it's not required viewing. I'd give it bottom B tier. What do you think, Joe?
It needed more ebony lesbian action, and it was too depressing for me, but I'd still put it into high B tier.
I was going to say bottom A tier, but I guess it's going into high B tier. Okay, on to Empire of the Sun, or as I like to call it, Come and See for Kids.
Yeah, but with slant-eyed Japs instead of Nazis.
Big yikes, Trump. Do you say racist shit just to be edgy?
Yes, he does. And I bet he thinks Basie is a good role model.
Yes, I do. Basie is an expert survivor, and he finds ways to be comfortable even while in a concentration camp.
Yeah, by exploiting child labor and stealing dead people's shoes.
Joe, you own 20 pairs of Jordans. You have no right to talk about child labor or shoes.
Valid. Now, personally, I see this movie as a very underrated gem in Spielberg's filmography.
Same, Barack. It's not as powerful as Schindler's List or Saving Private Ryan, but it's still able to be haunting in its own PG kind of way. It really captured the spirit of childhood and the loss of innocence that comes from growing up.
Mad facts. It's the only movie to make me feel bad for a rich white kid, which, believe me, is no easy feat.
Yeah, unlike your own kids, Obama. Speaking of the kid, this is Christian Bale's first performance in a leading role, and damn, he did a great job.
Preach. His performance never got on my nerves, which is incredible considering he's alone for a third of the movie. And whenever he's acting with an adult, he's able to play off them really well.
I do have to say, though, one thing I'd eat from this movie is the scene with him peeping on his foster parents.
Hell no, that scene is essential, Barack. It foreshadows his soon-to-be loss of innocence.
That's not the reason why you like it, Joe.
You can't prove that.
Let's move on. You guys down with A tier?
I'm fine with low A tier.
I can work with that.
Okay, now on to arguably the best movie Spielberg has ever made, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Fucking S tier, no question, no debate. On to our next movie.
Hey guys, I heard this is going to be your last video for a while, so I thought I would come and see what you guys think about... Wait a minute. Are you guys seriously putting Indiana Jones and Daddy's sloppy seconds into S tier?
Hell yes we are. This movie is a childhood classic. Or are you really gonna tell me you don't have nostalgia for this?
Nostalgic, bro, this shit ain't my childhood. By the time I saw it, my balls had already dropped. This cop out of a movie ain't worth my dick cheese.
Dude, please never give me that imagery again.
Why? You thinking about my balls now, Donald? Ha! Gay!
Don't throw bricks in a glass house, Quentin. Remember, we still have pics of you worshiping feet at Femboy Hooters.
Fuck. I knew I was missing some Polaroids. Fine. Have fun circle jerking to Spielberg. Sayonara, gay boys.
Dude, no matter how much you update your security, people still seem to get in.
I know, right? And I've been using a VPN too.
Which VPN are you using?
I don't know. Whichever one the YouTubers keep talking about.
Bro, you're probably getting hacked by Russians.
Nah, Putin told me not to worry about that.
All right, Last Crusade is S tier. And anybody who argues that in the comments is a fucking op. Next up is his most out there movie, Always, starring Spielberg's and Lucas's favorite smoking buddy, Richie D.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. This is the one where Richard Dreyfuss dates Mrs. Incredible and gets cucked from beyond the grave.
Bro, you just made this movie way less romantic.
I actually really like this film. It feels like a Hallmark Channel original movie if it had a real budget and competent acting.
That's a valid assessment. But unlike a Hallmark movie, this movie is suspenseful as fuck. The forest fires in this movie are actually really scary.
And shout out to the supporting performances from Audrey Hepburn and John Goodman. That being said, fellas, while this movie may be S tier for a Hallmark movie, it's totes B tier for Spielberg.
Yep, it's underappreciated, but it's still B tier.
I'm fine with that. I always felt Richard Dreyfuss was kind of miscast in this role anyway.
Okay, that completes the 1980s. Now on to the 1990s.